Hello everyone, Achadin over here, and as you always know, you can like my videos and subscribe in any of the guides that it's on the sites. This will be the guide for, of course, our build that I'm doing right now with the Black Blade of Chaos and Lethal Mirage, but focusing on monoliths. As you can see right now, I'm like nothing super crazy like the people that are 2000 or 1000 corruption, and I also don't have the gear that I actually want to have because let's just say that we have wasted more than almost 2 billion gold together in stymied fates and titan hearts and shattered chains with 2 LP and slamming them, and we have been unsuccessful. So there's why I'm talking about this, because the planner that I'm going to put in the description, and that is going to be linked of course in the video itself, will have different gear. It will have, of course, a Titan Heart with actually the Mirages and Dexterity. You can, of course, put life if you are more defensive focused. You will need to be defensive focused, of course, if you want to push to like 2k corruption or more. And then the idols that I'm using, I will also change them in the planner. I'm going to be using more of this, of the increased health, and then you can put the ward when you create a shadow or the ward when you use shift. Usually shift gives a little bit more because we don't really use synchronized strike with all of that, and of course it will be full of the health ones instead of these ones that I have that are kind of decent for bossing. They cap your armor shreds when you have around 40 or 60 or something like that. They are already capped, and you do around 30 to 40% more damage. Now, of course, as the gear that will not change will be julras. We will be using 2 of them with dexterity. The ones that I will put on the planner as with tier 7 dexterity. Gloves, you really want some eternal gloves. I will be putting the second prefix being the one that it's armor and then effect of armor to dot damage instead of this freeze multiplier. The shred, you don't super need it to be tier 6 or tier 7, and of course if it health, the best kind of health that you can get. For boots, I will put the stymied fate because we really want to be spamming our shift, and they will have of course dexterity and cooldown reduction. In my belt I will also have cooldown reduction, and also we can put other things like for example mana regeneration. It's never bad. That's what I will put: mana regeneration and cooldown reduction. And of course julras I will only put 1 LP because it's something like that. Uthenuis you can get some 3 LPs and get dexterity, lethal mirage, and then something else, but I'm only going to put a 2 LP one. Helmet, they're good offensive and defensive helmets, but I'm just going to put one of these, or the cooldown reduction helmet with of course some life, something like that, and then cap resistances with idols. And nihilis will be 0 LP. Ideally you get mana regen or lightning damage or critical multiplier. I have here one with critical multiplier that I want to slam, but they cost too much. Then of course Black Blade of Chaos, you want the melee flatlining and ideally melee void, critical multiplier, melee damage, etc, etc. I always have bad luck and slam wrong things, so the ones that I'm going to put is flat melee lightning and critical multiplier, the melee lightning at 7 and the multiplier at 6. That is something that is possible and not super crazy as MG. Scoff going for like flatlining 7 if it's only 1 LP should work. Be doing a lot of this, and if you drop some, farming the place itself is not hugely difficult. Now, as for the skills and other things, there is some things that you can change, but this is ideally what you will use. You will of course have your main ability being lethal mirage with these points. If you want to be more defensive focused, you can get some of this, so you get more mana, or you can give more shadows if you have the things that create, and you get ward per shadow created. These 2 points give a lot of shadows, and you can like lose some points here on the penetration or something like that. It's way better defensively. For shift, it's the same thing. You get the super crit, the extra damage, and then of course leaving the shadow for the super combo with our synchronized strike, and then some mana you get, and if you are half health you get more mana. Synchronized strike, the important points are dark allies, you will get 2 extra shadows, the mana efficiency, very important, and then the 3 crimson shrouds that give you less damage over time taken. You also have cool, but you don't really use it that much in monoliths. It's still quite interesting because sometimes it does help. You see somewhat 50%, 15%, you can just go and slam it into it. And then, of course, you have the combo that you will be doing with umbral blade thingy. It's only to leave like blades in the ground. You will see now here there's like a blade doing thingies. Only one blade can hit at a time, and it has reduced application of bleed and other things, but you have so much bleed chance with your abilities that it helps a lot to stack 20 for the extra damage here that we have on Sundering Blows, 60% more damage, and you need that 20 bleed stacks. And of course it's not easy to get with the ability itself because you have Shocking Grasp and all your bleed goes to shock chance. Now, as for the gameplay, I'm going to show a video something, but first let me show you also the passives and the blessings. Blessings right now, of course, as blessings to help cap your resistances. Here you see me have to void and physical. You can of course change these to, there's one that gives threshold if you have extra physical. Here, if you have extra void, you can get the critical multiplier one or the dodge rating one. You can also get this one. This one is very good to farm because you get a lot of ward and kill, and you get some ward decay threshold that it's never bad. Of course, glyph and other things, shred lightning helps a lot, but if you don't really need 100% shred lightning, you can get the ward on potion use, and you also get some ward decay threshold, or the mana. The mana is this one. I have a 100% one because I've done this boss like 40 times, and eventually you will get the mana thingies. You can get ward per second if you have some items that give ward decay threshold and things like that. It helps a little bit to get more EHP. Now, of course, ideally, I don't have this, but you will ideally get some dodge and other things to cap your glancing blow chance, and also at least 10% endurance somewhere to also cap your endurance at 60% with the blessing that should also give you some endurance. I have a 26 one. You can get a 30. Of course, you can use the base on the gloves that gives 10% instead of the armor. Also applies to damage over time because it's not like we have a huge deal of armor anyway, unless you change your helmet or get more armor rolls. That does not matter that much. Now, as for our passives, remember we have the basic tree here. You can use lethal cadence, and you remember every third attack, so you will be going and shifting and using that, and you can see here you have lethal cadence. If you want sometimes you can just put puncture, and then when you do this next one, then you can do 1 2 and do that one. Of course that helps because you have the 3 fast attacks, and then this one is not super important, it's just to fill points. If you want, you can get also the 4 mana per hit instead of the shred and these shadow dagger thingies that they don't really do a lot of damage anyway. And of course, we have everything here, everything there. Now let's show a clip of how we clear somewhat. Remember, if you have the red gear, it will be a lot faster because right now my shift has 3.2. If you have the good cooldown reduction things and stymied fate, it has around 2 or less different cooldown. And your Lethal Mirage, if you have a decent black rate of chaos and you hit enough mobs, you get a full recover on that one. Now let's go into it. It's not a crazy video thingy, and also I do stop sometimes, and there's one animation cancel that you can do with a bait. This makes it so you actually can move just after doing the ability. And of course, you are in the nick of things, you are melee, so you have to get into the mobs. You will see me using pots a lot because remember that our belt makes it so pots make us stun immune, and one of the easy ways to die at, let's say, high corruption, we are almost at 600 already, it's to get stunned. I'm also not running any of the good defensive uniques or mods. You would ideally have more than 3k health or even 4k health, and that should help a lot into keeping yourself alive. I do die quite a bit on monoliths right now because my gear is not crazy, and also I try to clear a lot around the nemesis mobs because they are really dangerous if there are other mobs near. As you know, our Lethal Mirage hits mobs randomly, so if there are additional mobs, the nemesis, you don't insta kill it and then it does any ability, and usually it one shots you. So a lot of damage. Like you will see afterwards, the poison boy, that is the one that we will fight, will do his ability, and if I didn't dodge, I will actually just die instantly. Now, as for things you can also do, is if you know there's a huge pack of dot mobs, you can use a synchronized strike, so you get your stacks of crimson shrouds, and those, remember that reduce dot damage. Now you'll see me here, I'm clearing all of the Osprey's boys and other things, so I don't get any issues while doing the nemesis. Even if I see one, so he doesn't drop the meteor while I'm looking at items, it's important. Now, this is one of the good things about the build. Exile Mage and Nemesis, we don't have any issue. We just do the fast combo and they die instantly. I don't even need to hit the other things, and if I got hit by any of those, I would have died. Now that we are done with that, let me say that at least I do think that the build has promised to push quite a bit of high corruption, but sadly, as I'm not a player that actually plans to play the league for super long, there's a new PoE league coming. I'm not going to min-max the gear the way that you would need. Like, yes, I have farmed around 3 billion gold in total, and I have been trying to buy my items and to slam them to more or less success. Everything here is a failed craft, and these are just blades with bad rolls that I don't really want to keep, but I'm going to slam into the nemesis anyway. I have a lot of titan hearts that just didn't hit. There was, between all the titan hearts and the shattered chains and stymied fates, and I'm kind of, let's say, jaded. Don't want to farm anymore, so that's why I'm leaving the planner with different gear that I have. And I hope you have fun and enjoy the build, and if you don't enjoy it, there's no issue. There are a lot of blade dancer builds that clear way faster, and of course, as always, I will see you on the next video.